Hey guys, so welcome back to Kate's Regretless Life. I'm going to do a quick bonus read. So as I mentioned, sometimes when I hike in the morning is when my mind just kind of drifts and wanders, and sometimes topics pop into my head and I go, let's pull some cards on that. I don't know what that's got to do with. Someone just asked me actually on my readings, do my readings apply to my own life? No, actually, if I pull cards for me, I do that privately, and it's very, very different. Also, the kind of reader I am for myself is not what I read on my channel. I tend to be fairly brutal. So the thoughts that pop into my head, no, like especially when my mind is just drifting and I'm hiking, that's the funniest part. Just certain things pop into my head, like all of a sudden, and I don't know what that is referencing, but then I go, let's go find out. So one thing I want to mention is yesterday I didn't put out any bonus reading. I thought about it, but I didn't because it was actually, so I couldn't figure out if there was something that I had to say or not. It was like physically, I felt very heavy, very tired yesterday. And I thought back and forth about doing a reading specifically about like being really fatigued and tired because it was an unusual sensation for me. But honestly, I didn't feel like doing one, so I didn't. But maybe that in itself was a reading, you know, just mentioning that. So I don't know how many of you felt really exhausted yesterday, but this reading today, what popped into my head as I was walking is I kept hearing somebody saying, hold on, and the other person responding with, I can't. And I don't know what that's about, but we're going to go down this road and we're going to see. So you saw me shuffle and one card has popped out right now. We have a Page of Swords. So somebody is perhaps watching another person. Maybe this is the person who's thinking or saying or trying to energetically transmit those words. Hold on, hold on. It's like they may be seeing somebody slip away. We have these birds here, and the birds are messengers, right? We have one bird in flight. The other one still sits on their shoulder. But I feel like this is still very immature energy. If somebody is expecting another person to wait for them, but they stand there in silence and watch the other person all the while thinking, wait for me. Someday I want to approach. Someday I want to make an offer. Someday I want to do something. Someday I want to talk to you, but wait for me. Why are they waiting? What is this about? What is this about? We got quite a few cards. Okay, so we have the Moon card, and it came out pretty angled. Sorry, I don't know why I'm stumbling with words right now. And I always describe, anytime I see the wolf and the dog, I always describe that in the same way, which is, this is so similar, right? In this case, it's a lovely German shepherd and a wolf. And the wolf is up here howling at the moon. The wolf is hungry. The wolf wants to talk, okay? But these are two different creatures. And as you can see, we're actually divided. They're on either side of this. I don't even know if I would call this a pond, or it's almost like an interesting, I don't know, like where a fountain would be in the middle of a courtyard in a half enclosed castle. I'm sure there's a specific name for this, but in any case, the bridge is like broken here. And so it's separated the dog from the wolf. I kind of look at this as like the land bridge, right? Of, you know, continental drifting and such. But I feel like, because these animals are almost the same, right? Their DNA is 99.999% the same, but that little fraction that is not the same is where these two creatures are very different animals. And the wolf tends to be the one that they're not domesticated. They're out on the prowl. The dog is the one who is loyal to the household, the family, but the wolf is very loyal also. Wolves, yeah, they're pack animals, and they also mate for life. This wolf is howling for its mate. So this is a lone wolf scenario is what I see here. And that lone wolf is the one who is crying out. And it's interesting because the dog is standing here like, dude, I don't know what you're doing over there. I don't know why you're howling when I'm standing right here. It's kind of an interesting thing. And then popping up here, we've got the crustacean, right? We've got a lobster. Now, keep in mind, lobsters, they have to shed their shell when their shell gets too tight. And for a while, when they first shed their shell, they're very vulnerable. It's very uncomfortable because they don't have that protective outer layer around them, right? But still, that is a necessary process because you must continue to grow. And I almost feel like what stands between these two is the necessity of the growth and the fear of the vulnerability. And so it's interesting because I see this moon card as a yearning combined with a fear, combined with a separation. And this is what the moon is basically hiding. It's hiding what I've just described, is the way I would interpret that. We've got a 10 of Swords, and then it's interesting because someone is trying to put an end to their difficult circumstances, their I'm going to say the self-imposed isolation where they feel fear and shame and guilt and hurt and wounding. Basically, if someone had been, I feel like they've been living a life where they always, in their own mind, they've been trapped in worries that keeps them stuck. And this is part of that transformation that they have to go through. To be where they are is very uncomfortable, but to change is scary. That's what this whole thing looks like to me. And what is hidden from view is that someone is actually already actively going through this. This 10 of Swords is here. This is a painful ending. Even though, like I said, this is like somebody says, hold on, and the other person says, I can't. I feel like this is a situation where there's a time period where to enable somebody to not change is not helpful. Instead, it's like, I feel this is a storyline where whomever is saying, I can't hold on any longer. I can't wait for you to want to do the brave thing and change, even though I understand that it does take a lot of bravery. I understand that it's hard for you to explain this. It's like the other person who's saying, I can't wait anymore. They already know all this. I don't think there's much of a secret after all. But someone, whoever is, thinking like, will you hold on? Will you wait for me? They think that it's like some big secret that, look, I'm just not ready yet. I'm kind of afraid to transform. I'm afraid to shift my life around. I'm afraid to let go of all the turbulence I've known. But letting go might be the only way that this person will overcome their fears, is kind of what this is starting to look like. Because now we've got the 7 of Wands. It's like, as long as somebody is aware that the other person is standing there, it's almost like standing on the other side of a door saying, come on, open up the door, come on out. And the person, as long as they're getting all that attention from the opposite side of the door, whoever locked themselves in the room and is like, no, I'm not coming out, I'm not coming out. The person who stands outside the door and coaxes and coaxes and coaxes, they're used to that interaction, and that becomes this little prolonged safety zone, right? Because they know that the person right outside the door cares so much about them. And if they need anything, they're going to slide some food under the door, or they're going to keep, talking to them and begging them to come out. When that person on the outside of the door goes, I can't hold on and wait for you anymore. You got to come out when you're good and ready. And they walk away. Now the person who's in the room, who's locked themselves in, they don't have the lifeline to the outside. If you locked yourself in a bathroom, you may have water to drink, but you got no food. At some point, you're coming out. You're going to come out of that bathroom that you've locked yourself in, because it's going to get boring. It's going to get lonely. You don't have the energy that's being fed to you from the person on the other side of the door who kept trying to coax you out. I feel like that's what this is about. I don't know why I feel like somebody's locking themselves in a bathroom, but it's just that's the first thing that popped into my head. But, and it's not like it's a ploy per se, but it did become maybe, I'm almost going to say like I don't want to use the word unhealthy, but I'll use it because I can't think of anything else to refer to this as, like an unhealthy little drama that two people played out. Like, I hide and you stand right outside the door and keep trying to tell me that you love me and it's safe and I can come out, but I just keep hunkering down because I know that you're there, and that actually allows me to stay hunkered down and entertains me. Not saying someone was trying to be entertained, but without realizing it's both people were playing a role in a drama. If you're in drama, you know that there's this saying where you always want to say yes. If you're playing out a scene that's improv, you have to encourage more dialogue, because if one person doesn't put much in, because you're creating something out of nothing, so there's no script, you don't know what is supposed to happen next, so you have to be creative, but what you are creative with has to encourage the other person to then run off of your creativity and add something to it, so the dialogue keeps building and going back and forth, and you create a scenario together. But if one person quits putting something in, now all of a sudden there's just one actor standing up there and they're going to have to figure out a monologue. That's kind of what you're doing. You're leaving this person locked in the bathroom and they can now have their own little monologue, which sometimes is where we get real with ourselves. I feel like the way this storyline is shaping up for me anyway, the way I see this, if one person keeps spying on the other going, hold on, keep thinking of me, show me that you still care about me so I can stay locked in this bathroom, but we can have this continuation of a drama going back and forth. They may watch your social media a ton if you put out, messages and things like that on your social media that are like angled toward them or something, and they see that and they go, oh, okay, I see you're actually, that's a message for me. And it's like, how long is that potential of undercurrent going to keep going on? Maybe you did do that in the past. Maybe there were lots of subtle cues and messages being sent. But at this point, it kind of feels like if the other person is saying, I can't hold on anymore, I feel like if you had been thinking of this person, sensing their energy, knowing that they're holding back, and you kept trying energetically to coax them to come out, I feel like you're about to stop that, or whoever is saying, I can't hold on anymore, is stopping it. And this really, really kind of enforces that, I think, because I look at this Queen of Swords as, okay, I have boundaries up now, and I'm not giving to this anymore. No more of my pentacles will be, I won't be continuously promising you that, hey, we could still do this. You haven't missed your opportunity. I'm right here on the other side of this door. Just come on out. No, this is like, okay, if you need to lock yourself away, you go right ahead. If you're going to be the runner, keep running. It's funny because one of the things that I was, contemplating before I got my dog is, when you meet puppies, they say that if a puppy runs away, let them run. If they are not coming towards you, like fearlessly, at least this is kind of the thing that is said about cattle dogs, because you want dogs that are, lively and kind of brave. And so you want a dog that comes right to you and, is choosing to investigate and be interested. But if they're scared and they're running, that probably is not going to be a cattle dog for you. That's going to be necessarily the right temperament, right? So if they run, let them run, because they just answered that question. Like, is that your doggy? Probably not. And so that's what this reminds me of. I feel like some of you are saying, okay, you know what? I need to quit knocking on that door and trying to coax, because it's actually, I got to put my own boundaries up now. And this no longer is this going to be something that I put my investment into. I'm not laying my money on the table anymore. And when I say that, I mean, this could be about finances. This could be like maybe you're a business owner, you were trying to hire somebody, maybe it's a friend of yours, maybe it's somebody that was non-committal, and every week you're like, so did you want to pick up those hours or should I hire somebody else? And they're still finding ways, well, I'm just not entirely sure yet. I think I could probably do like 2 hours on a Wednesday, but I'm not sure about Friday, but blah, blah, blah. And they just won't commit to saying no. So, because they want you to keep telling them that you really want them. But I feel like there's some manipulation here. Somebody's holding back for their own set of reasons, which seems to be fear-based. And the other person is responding by saying, wow, we just doubled down again with this page of coins in the reverse. No. I'm not waiting anymore. I can't hold on for you. You instead have to reach out and grab a hold of something. You don't tell me to hold on. What am I supposed to hold on to? You've given me nothing to hold on to. And that's why I can't. I can't hold on to you or to the idea or hold a spot for you in my business or hold a job for you that you don't know if you really want, because it's starting to feel like you're hedging bets. Now, this person may not be, though. And I say that because we've got the Moon card, and I feel like the Moon card combined with the Ten of Swords, I feel like somebody is not really intending to play games. I feel like there's another underlying thing, which is like they're scared. Somebody is scared to take the plunge. And let's go back to the idea that if this were like a career, a job where, you're going to hire this person, but they can't commit to the hours, or, they're dragging their feet or something. And particularly if this were a situation where somebody that somebody that, they're like a friend, but you're like, okay, why are they being so shady about whether or not they're going to work here? It may be that they have fears that have nothing to do with what you're thinking. You're thinking, wow, this is getting disrespectful, or this is getting annoying. But maybe it's actually that this person, maybe it's poor self-image. Maybe they don't feel like, I don't want to be in the public eye because I've put on weight, and I don't want to be the face of your business and be involved in talking to people when I don't feel good about myself. I mean, that's just an example. I mean, maybe that's not the best example, but I'm trying to give something that's a visual. There are things that make people hide themselves away that are their own insecurities that have nothing to do with the other person. They have nothing to do with anything else. I don't know why that's the quickest way I could, come up with something to describe that. But this person has a Hermit in the reverse. They have been doing healing, and they have been in isolation mode. Whoever this person is, whatever the situation is, this could be a friendship, or this could be somebody that you've been talking to like online, but they never actually make plans to see you face to face in person. This person is about ready to come out of hermit mode, though. Someone has been doing a bunch of healing. They have been working on themselves, but I feel like you've been strung along. One person's been strung along for a very, very long time is what this looks like, with only the most minimal little messages, and the messages didn't add up to much. It was just Twitter, like Twitter from little birds. It was not any sincere delivery of a message. It was just, I feel like somebody has been keeping you thinking about them. And I think at this point you're like, oh, done with this. This can't go on anymore. Something here's got to stop. Wow. Whoever is saying, no, I can't hold on anymore. 9 of Cups is in the reverse. It's like, there's no part of this that has given me happiness. This is not a wish fulfillment. I don't wish to be treated like this. This is not going to work out in an emotionally fulfilling way. I feel like the person who's saying, no, I can't hold on anymore. There is an element of frustration here. There is an element of, you know what? You go ahead and you keep hiding out then. I feel like this is that moment where it's like, if you're not going to be brave, or if you're not going to be honest with me, then I'm letting you go. Wow. Whoever this is who's letting go is doing it in a big way. It's like, I'm not going to be sad over this one. In fact, I'm telling myself this was not a soulmate. Either this was not a friendship that I need to keep holding on to, because you never make time to see me. You don't really show up to any events. You don't really connect. You're always, it's like somebody who keeps rescheduling. And so you never really get time with this person. And this could just be in a friendship, right? But it's somebody who never quite follows through. And so at this point, whoever's saying, no, I can't hold on for you anymore, even though I don't feel like the individual who's been strung along, who's now saying I won't keep holding on, I don't feel like they're not doing this to be mean. It's just that at some point they're lowering themselves by continuously being the person to reach out and try to coax and try to, figure out what's going on. So they are frustrated. I feel like their feelings are hurt. It feels like they're irritated. And now in their irritation, they're like, you know what? Clearly this was not a love relationship. This is not a soulmate, or this is not a friendship that I should be pursuing. I didn't miss out on any great opportunity with somebody because I'm the one who kind of got shortchanged in this. And it's like somebody feels like they've been kind of manipulated at this point. And with this Chariot in the reverse, it's like, man, I really got in a rut with this situation. It's still, this person is frustrated still, even though they're saying, look, I'm done. I'm not putting out any more offers, and I am irritated, but I'm also like, I'm over this. I'm not missing out on a great relationship or friendship. You are. They're saying that, but there's still a bit of an emotional attachment here that is just like, it stings, is what this looks like. This one still stings. They're letting it go, but they're still kind of like, God, I just don't know why this person behaved this way. Why do you string things along? So why did this happen? Why did this happen? We have the Five of Wands that came out sideways. There was one obstacle after another after another. One obstacle after another after another. Lots of things. There could have even been lots of destruction. This is somebody who's like, they're setting a fire, burning down everything that almost gets built, and then they burn it down again, and it almost gets built and it gets burned down again. It's weird though, because we actually have this Four of Wands. That can be a wonderful business, and that can also be a wonderful relationship, like a divinely guided relationship. Three of Pentacles in the reverse, Fool in the reverse. There is a part of this where, honestly, I think whoever held on for a long time, who's not going to hold on anymore, they would have been willing to like jump in with both feet, attach themselves, welcome this person into their world, allow this person to be, a friend, a trusted lover or friendship, someone who they would trust in their business, who they would open their whole world up to. And the truth is, if someone was not maybe responsible enough to be given that much of your trust, then it would have actually possibly been a mistake. So it's almost like the universe slowed everything down, made sure that there were all these delays, because the two of you maybe would not have been able to be in that success together. It wouldn't have gone the right way. It wouldn't have been harmonious. Maybe it could have actually even thrown things way more off kilter. If you're good friends with somebody and then you're like, oh yeah, let's let them come into my business. If they turned out to be somebody that was struggling with other things in their life, they could have really maybe created some real havoc in your life, possibly. So it's not such a bad thing. Let me put it this way. It would almost have been like, would you give a 12-year-old the keys to your car and say, feel free to drive at any time you want? No, right? That's absolutely no. That was the equivalent. This person, maybe emotionally, because also of what they were dealing with, maybe they were about 12. And to give them the keys to your heart or to give them the keys to your business when they were very scattered would have been disastrous. Now, obviously, it gets confusing because somebody doesn't look 12, so we don't think of them as 12. But in this case, if you think about someone's behavior, honestly, maybe this is why I'm saying 12, because that's about how old this page looks to me, is about a 12-year-old. Which usually I think of pages like 7 or 8 years old, but that one looks about 12. I feel like this was a situation where, thank goodness, they held back from you, because yeah, they wanted you to hold on until they grew up. But it's like, I think it's not that they intended to do you a favor by stringing you along and holding back, but there was some protective force around this situation where they were not mature enough to be given full access into your life. It could have really crashed and burned. Now, maybe you're saying, yeah, but I lost a lot anyway because I kept waiting. But still, it could have been much more detrimental if, like, say this looks like a situation where it didn't quite get off the ground. So this is probably not going to resonate with somebody who's like, no, I was married for 25 years, blah, blah, blah. No, this is more like the dating that didn't quite ever go anywhere, didn't quite get to living together, talked about it, never happened. Like I say, the business relationship that somebody never really committed to working certain hours. This is the time that you never quite got around to hiring somebody, or you never quite got around to spending the time with a friend that you wanted to. And you were very patient until finally you just kind of were like exacerbated by it and whatever, letting it go. So I asked, why did this happen? This did happen because it was not the right time for this to come together. With that Fool card in the reverse and the Three of Pentacles, definitely not the right time. And in fact, I have to say, what I see here is that this was not a really perfect match. This was not something where the two of you were going to like create more together. Instead, this was a time where somebody is still in a growth process of their own, is what it looks like. And this is time for you to sail onward, to go after your Nine of Cups elsewhere. I always look at this as a card of travel and motion. It's a Nine of Cups, but we're on the bow of a ship, looking out to sea, looking at, okay, let's go look for new land. And it's very interesting because it's now you who is going to potentially have a choice in lovers. It's you who, you may not forget this person. They may still be somebody on your mind. If this was a love relationship, you may still think of them, but you are now actively going out to meet someone new. It's like you want to open up your heart to someone. So you're okay with the fact that, hey, if this is not where it's going to be, then it's only because there's somebody else elsewhere. And it's crazy, but like you are really no longer going to, I think that some of you have made a promise to yourself that I will never try to coax somebody to show me that they care. I will never again try to put my energy out there in such a way that it's like, I guess I would call this unrequited love. I don't think it was. I just think somebody couldn't give to the connection, but they clearly wanted to, which is why they wanted somebody to wait for them. But you're not going to make love a battle that you have to fight for somebody's affection. Instead, you want a beautiful and harmonious connection. This is one that leads to marriage. This is whatever you are moving toward next is something that this may have been divine, but it certainly wasn't ready. It certainly wasn't. When I say something could have been divine, a situation that guides us to a new direction can be just as divine, right? Sometimes we always want to say, well, if it's divine, then why aren't we together? No, because the divine process in this is that it actually pushed you away with some new knowledge that I don't ever want to struggle in a relationship or struggle to have a friendship. I want it to be an easy flow where we're in harmony. And likewise, you might have taught this person a valuable lesson where if you keep yourself locked in a little room, eventually people don't wait outside that door for you to come out. You actually need to do your healing, and I got to quit waiting on you to heal. And it's interesting because this person is going to come out of that room with that Hermit in the reverse. They are going to come out. But it's interesting because all of this happened so that there can be an evaluation on, okay, what do I want a happy relationship to look like, to feel like, to taste like, to smell like? I want it to be something that it's not steeped in difficulty. So let me just ask one last thing about this person now who's in the Hermit in the reverse. Wow. So they're coming out of things. We got a Tower and we got a Death card here. The Death card, though, even though this person is coming out, I don't know that they have necessarily that this is going to work for the two of you. This one looks like it's what doesn't change here is this Death card. This Death card is still in this, what I would call the non-rebirth cycle. And the Tower here is, again, in the non-rebirth phase. Both of these are cards of great change, but it looks like even though this person comes out, they're still possibly not ever going to be quite the right person for you, because just as they have changed in one respect, you too have changed as to what you want. So again, it just feels like this has been a situation to actually push two people apart because they weren't ever really going to match up, not quite right. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. Because the idea is that we match with somebody that we flow with. If something doesn't flow together, then you flow apart. And that's kind of what this whole reading is. It's all about transformation. This whole reading is about transformation. And I feel like it's a relief because you end with that Hierophant card, the truly happy relationship. And this one didn't look like it was ever going to become that. So it's kind of nice to know that there's more to look forward to that will be easier and will be simpler and will fit better. So anyway, that's what I've got here. You guys take good care of yourselves, and I hope that you flow into whatever direction is going to make you the happiest. Take care. Bye.